less
much better.
dilation.
So we either have to make Jew smaller or Jew has to step backwards a little
No, no,
bit.
no. I'll make him smaller. I just
Okay.
zoomed him in
Yeah.
so I could see him better.
Okay. Oh, I see.
Okay.
Okay, it's much better.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
much
thank
better.
you, Randall.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So this is yeah. The numbers are a little bit. The numbers are at the bottom of the cell, so that it looks like 3, but it's actually 4. The measuring device.
Okay. So this is number 4. Okay. So, Drew, can you see them? Can you see the background? Yeah. And
I can see. Yeah.
okay, good. So I wonder whether we could experiment with two opening scenes. One is a still life with D and plant, and then Drew and measuring device. And we need to decide on the background for D. And then we rehearse those two opening moments.
Now, Johannes, can you refer to the index numbers on the sheet? That's the only way I can set it up, at least as a starting point.
Yeah. Well, I guess we could try number one, the riverbed movie, Forest Valley at Riverbed, um, because that has a certain dynamic when D is still. And then we fade that out and go to the number 4 measuring device. So maybe number one, river, Forest Valley riverbed. Yes. And if you could play that in slow motion and then have D in it,
Now,
downstage right.
now the slow motion really needs to be done in the pre-production.
Okay. So you mean by me?
Yeah, by you or by us, but that's
Okay.
why I had indicated whether or not something should be slowed down because
Yeah.
we have to prepare it. It doesn't really. It's not really very effective to try to slow it down here.
Okay. I thought I had made a slower version, but maybe we have to make an even slower version. I'll do that. So this would be with D in the foreground,
You know
right?
what? Number 10. Number 10 is the slow one.
Ah, river flow slow motion. I think that's a different film.
Yeah.
That comes later. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. I'll go
So
back.
we'll stay in the valley. Okay. And then bring D in and see how she will be appearing on the downstage right before, yeah, before Drew. So Drew not there yet. So Drew, you might have to come in from the off, yeah, like you did earlier, when we switch to measuring device. Okay, and I think the figure of D has to be made a bit smaller, and
Okay.
she's and maybe D you can go even a bit closer to the oh no, not high, but ah
I can bring her down. I can put her anywhere you want.
low, yeah, low on the ground if possible.
I feel my autonomy being challenged here.
And if that film is not working with when the camera goes up into this to the forest, I'll cut that out and just have the valley. Yeah. So that would be, oh, you have the green thing. Aha. Okay.
Yeah. Do you want it on or do you want it off?
No, keep it on, because I
Keep
think
it on.
Michelle would love to see how it develops. I know she wasn't completely happy, but we can practice.
I like it tied around my arm because it segments it in a really interesting way. So let
Aha.
me just put the plant down.
What
But
about a little bit of transparency?
that's perfect. Yes, I was about to ask for transparency. Thank you.
Good.
Cool.
So where is D? Where are you looking? I guess, can you look up towards, as if you're
So if
waiting
I
for
look
the
towards the camera,
visitor?
I can look that. I can wait. Let me just do my head. So
Yeah, you need to hold your
that's
plant
very
and wait
high.
for the visitor.
So
Yeah.
more towards
Yes.
camera. Yeah.
Have the plant in one hand and yeah, look to your left. So, because you think that Drew might be arriving from your left. No, the other side. Yeah.
Other side. Sorry.
That,
Other left.
is that right? Sorry.
Yeah, that's not. It's all right. All good.
Yeah, play with it. Feel free to improvise, and in your imagination try to think of what sound we would be hearing here and what you are doing with that plant. Yeah. Hmm.
Randall, can you get my patch on my voice if that's okay?
Yeah.
Cheers. Just gonna.
Okay, I have to. One second. I just have to go back to the mixer, and so I was
Sure.
changing everything. Number one.
This is '01. Yeah, first Forest Valley Riverbed movie, number one. And I need to make that much slower and cut out the pan up, just the low valley ground.
D, try it
Mm.
now. I think it should be working. No, hold on.
No.
Oh, I have the I've got the return turned down. I was, yeah. Okay, try it now. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Can
can
you
hear
add
it.
the muttering effect? Oh, yeah. I can. Okay.
It's
Yeah. If you
subtle.
could up it a little bit in me for that, that would be perfect. Yeah. Could you up the munging effect just because I'm not hearing that as much and
Yeah,
trying to
I'm
pay attention to
turning
how
down
things sound.
the dry. How about now?
Yeah. It's still the same volume.
Turn this. Okay, now. Oh, now nothing's going through.
Yeah. Now I've got nothing. Oh, got the tail end of that.
I mean, do you hear any of it?
Yeah, I can hear it very distantly. It's just I can't really hear it. Oh, if you could just make my microphone more sensitive, that'd be perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bringing up your mic. I think you need a little bit more on your mic.
Hmm.
I think you need to turn your input up.
Okay.
Oh, wait. No, let me do it on my end first. I'll turn your input up. Okay, now?
That's better. I'm gonna whisper this. So
That's pretty good.
perfect. Thanks.
if you go down even lower, onto your elbow, as if you are going to take a nap, how would that be? And then cup your head into your hand, like you're lying sideways in the bed. Yes. How's that? Good. Yes. Languishing movement. Good. I like that. That's interesting. Work with that. Yes. Like a flower pot earlier was like a microphone for you. You are using it to generate sound. You're communicating with the environment, the nature, with that plant. That's good. Yes, turn around and begin to look towards the right side where the visitor might be coming. And then if we can switch slowly to the measuring background 04 and then have Ju arrive. I don't know how you make transitions, Randall. How is that done? From
I'm
1
not.
to 4.
Yeah, I'm not ready for transitions. I
Okay.
mean, I can do a cut, but I can't do a crossfade. If that's what you're
But
talking
but
about.
eventually you can do crossfade, yeah? If we were
Yes,
to
I
number
I can,
1, 4, yeah? Okay.
but that all has to be prepared in advance.
Okay, I see. Yeah. So now maybe do a cut and then um,
To what?
D is to number 4, measuring device,
Okay.
and D is gone, and then Ju enters. And of course, D, you can continue to make music or sound. Okay, but now we're shifting to Ju. For Ju slowly arriving in the landscape. Yeah, excellent. And maybe start poking for water with the Gao Chow slowly. Take your time towards different corners, left and right. And yes, very good. And, and also behind you. Into the camera, good. Into the tree. Yes. And then you need to somehow discover the measuring device and then try to make your way coming back towards stage right, towards your right where the measuring device is. Yeah, go another step forward and see whether you on your screen can see. Oh, now we're losing. Aha. So are you out of your area here? Ah, I see. Because
But
of the
I
cropping. Okay.
um,
So careful that we don't lose your hand, but come forward just a slightly.
I
Yep.
can move him.
Oh, good. And then carefully lower your hand.
You want him all the way? Well, okay.
No, that was too far now. He was, yeah, there. And okay.
Sorry, sorry, it's
Yeah,
jumping.
no, it's okay. And then lower your hand, Drew, and you're almost there at the device. You want to find out what it is. It's a microscope. You look through it to spot the river. Yeah, very good, very good, very good. Yeah,
In shoe, you mean shoe, right?
Drew. Drew's engaging with the measuring device. Dee is not in the scene at this moment. Yeah, Drew, yeah, I think it's looking good though. But we can make a test extracting. That's very good, actually.
You know, actually, with the edge in the right place, it looks like he can go behind the measuring device.
Aha. I thought it looked actually pretty cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
very good, Drew.
In fact, if he puts his yeah, you see, one hand is in front and one hand looks like it's behind.
Ooh, I like
Yeah.
it.
If you have but you have to control it just right. You have to just use you have to really see what you're doing. Yeah, like right there. No, if you put your hand down so it's behind the measuring device. Right? No, up a little bit. No, up. There, right there, and then put your left hand, your other hand in front of the tripod. There
Hmm.
you go. Now bring your right hand down. I don't know which a little bit. Yeah, right there. Right there. Look at that.
Hmm. Very good, very good. Hmm. That's very good, Drew. Excellent interaction. Excellent. And maybe we'll think about a possible dialogue, Dee's voice and you there at the measuring device. Very good. Yeah, and maybe you put the Gao Chow onto the grass and slowly come forward to see whether you can begin to see the river and stay there. We don't want to lose your face. Maybe go down as if you are at the river edge. And now we could possibly make a transition in the next rehearsal to the river film, which we said
Okay.
was, I think,
Number
number 10.
number 10. Okay.
Yeah, let's see what happens right now. And of course, at this point, I think we need a change in the music or in the sound. Aha. So imagine you actually have now entered into the wet river, and the Gao Chao is behind you. This will become like a paddle, or um, you can stand on it almost like a float. Oh, that's good.
That's very
Oh,
nice.
that's beautiful. Uh, I edited this film very slowly, so it's good. Yes, that's very good. So from valley into the river on the float. Very good. Yeah, almost like a snowboard. Very good. Yes. Olympics. Very good, Ju. Yes. Snowboard. Yeah. In in China. Yeah. Now that's beautiful. I make a note. Of course, we need here some music. D. Yeah. So that's 10. Ciao, ciao.
Oh,
Oh,
make him. I'll make him go right into the water.
very good. Are you
Now,
making transparency? Very good.
yeah.
Yes.
Now he's underwater.
Underwater. That's very good. Um, and let him maybe. Oh, this is giving me all kinds of new ideas. You could try if we sustain this for a bit with the right music. You could then try to make a cut and transition to 11 underwater stones. This is very good, Ju.
I'm gonna take him out first, and then bring in the water stones,
Yeah.
and then I'll
And
bring him back in.
here we need the sort of underwater, upside down sound of the popping rocks.
Oh, that's nice. That's very nice.
Yes, you are in a deep cave. Yes. Oh, I love it, Ju. Excellent. Good D. Continue with the sound. Yes. You're holding the river up. Yes.
Do you like a little transparency, Johannes?
Can we take a break here and stop and reflect? Ju, this was excellent. And Dee, thank you for helping with the sound here because I want this to be more dramatic if we go that route. Yeah. He's in the river floating, and we can maybe expand this a bit. And for the floating part, we need maybe some lyrical music. And then when Randall shifts into this was filmed with a GoPro camera, so it's underneath in a bucket. And you did excellent work being suddenly deep in the water, looking up. Yeah. And again, D, if you can think of a sonic environment for this. In my film, I only had a few plopping rocks. We dropped rocks into the bucket. Maybe you can even think of something that is related to stones. Yeah, D. And I think Michelle was very intrigued by this connection of river and stone river. And since later on we're going to go to the north to Hadrian's Wall, this will make sense in terms of the metaphors. But let me hear the two of you, Dee and Drew, what you think of rehearsal so far. And also, Randall and Greg, if you have comments, please help us, because we're doing things on the spot, right? Maybe you thought the opening is too weak, but we can learn from everyone's reflection.
So, who do you want to go first?
Am I still affected?
D. You were in the first scene with a flower plant. What was your feeling?
I'm just checking if I'm still under the effect.
No, I
Am I
turned it
not?
off.
No. Amazing, thank you. Yeah, no, I thought it was really interesting. It's giving me a lot of stuff to work with. I was thinking I'm gonna arrange objects around myself, I think, in the space that I can use as sound impetuses as well, and then also do some pre-recorded stuff for more dramatic scenes. I've been trying to track down a particular book about plants that I'm going to try and get in, because I wanted to use that essentially as as something to draw text from and stuff like that.
Okay.
And keep it very animist. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
anatomical.
that would be good. And because at the moment, what we did today is there will be the opening credit sequence, and then it crossfades into the valley, and I'm going to try to slow down so that we just see the grass and the forest in the background. And then you are lying in the foreground with your instruments, which are plants. So you can do the whole first 2-3 minutes as a monologue, yeah, with plant. And then remember, you are also waiting for the botanist, because you have heard from the other trees and plants that a botanist is coming from China. And then Ju, now let's turn to you. You arrived with the Gao Chao. How was that for you? Was it
I
okay?
felt I felt that was great. Um, I got the emotion. Can you hear me, Johannes?
Yeah. Little
Yeah.
bit of echo, but I can hear you.
Okay. I felt the beginning was great, and I saw opportunities working with D. So the
Okay.
first thing, D lie down there, play with the grass, or just wake up from the environment. And then before I came in, I thought, what's the relationships between me and the D? So I saw possible thing when she lie down there. Let maybe I can, I don't know, put some the connections between the Gao Qiao and her.
Yeah.
And then after the scene, so I walk in. This is the feeling I got between the relationships of Gao Qiao and Di, with
Mhm.
her body, with her environment. And I enjoyed the environment. I come in, look around, and especially this one to touch the water of the environment.
Good.
Johannes, you
Good.
mentioned, and then further, and then the relationship with the camera. So
Good.
I felt
Good.
this was inspiring. and I enjoy this scene very much. I think I need a little bit more time to explore how to develop with the river. Uh,
First comes the measuring instrument, and then through the measuring instrument you see the river,
yeah,
and then we make the crossfade from valley to river, and you are floating on the Gao Chao. So you need to make sure the Gao Chao is lying behind you, and you are working with the measuring instrument,
mhm,
and then
that's
you are
correct.
in the water. Yeah,
That's correct.
yeah, and then
Measurement and then let down the river. And then when I fall in the river,
yeah,
I love the transition Randall put in the transition. So
you can
you
swim in the
can
water, float.
swim
Yeah,
in the water and then to try to
and then in
get
the
air
Stone River, Stone. Yeah.
and then the stone that relationship. Yeah. So that was great and that's all my thoughts and
So
feelings.
let's remember, I made notes. Let's remember the sequence, and you and I can talk, and I can talk with Dee. We will remember the sequence. So now let's hear from, thank you, Jude. Thank you, Dee. Let's hear from Randall and Greg what you saw and what we can make better.
Greg, why don't you go next?
Right into the camera. I love the self reflexivity of that. It brings our self awareness right into the landscape of what Jew has experienced. It's very immediate power in that for me as a viewer. I also liked the quiet and poetic feeling with D laying in the grass
Yeah.
and emerging or being in that meadow. And I think there are some techniques that Randall could bring to that to help it feel that D is in the land and emerging from the land, or re-entering the land. I think there are some visual effects that Randall can reach into his sleeve and, aha, here's a good trick. Let's try this. So I think we should ask Randall about that. Um, so a lot of very strong visual material, and this is really our first experimentation. So this is incredible work so quickly.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
And
No,
can
go
I
ahead.
just ask Greg, when you were making your commentary, Greg, with the lyrical quiet Dee in her landscape, when she was making little tapping sounds on the plant pot?
Love it. And I love the red fabric, or I'm sorry, the fabric, and how she's interested in breaking up body form. I think there are ways in which your performers and your vision, and it's feeling immediate.
Okay.
And I
But
think that's a that's performance.
okay.
If it's just video playback, it's a dead
Yeah.
performance. It's dead. It's not live. And so these are the moments for me that are the most powerful, because they're the most immediate and they're visceral, and they invite me to be with the performer on stage.
Okay. So Dee, I hope you heard this, and please
Hmm.
remember that there were moments when you were tapping or when you were whispering with the plant pot. I thought of the plant as a kind of a small megaphone, where you are communicating with the trees, with the stars. Yeah. So this could be
Yeah.
very beautiful as spirit opening. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so
Slide.
yeah, I mean the fact that this is our fourth session and we're already really looking at relationship between performance and scenography and so forth is really quite it's quite impressive. I think that we need to put a lot of thought into these background scenes
Mm.
because for me the footage is I mean it's great footage, but it looks very stark and naked uh, as it is. And I think I mean maybe this is my own aesthetic. I don't know, but for me, what I think would be very helpful is um, to think very precisely about the slow motion transitions. It's possible even within one scene that we could have multiple views of
Layers. Ah,
layers that I
okay,
can bring in and out, so it's not
okay,
so static.
okay.
And then there also it might be nice to have some elements that are in the foreground, so to create some three dimensionality. It
Yeah,
can even be
we've
something
forgotten
that has
about the pole and things like that. Right. I agree.
yeah,
I agree.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that what's helpful, Johannes, is for you to really think through all these different criteria and be able to get them into our notes, and then that way I can both Greg and I can work on the footage, and then I can set it up, and we can, like the transitions, for example, just real quick, just to explain how that
Yeah.
works. I have two playback machines,
Yeah.
so if you want to go from one thing to another thing, I have it loaded into one playback machine and the other one's in the second, and then I can crossfade.
Okay.
But I need to know like what goes to what in order to
Okay.
do that. So I know that I
Yes.
need to know the sequence of
Yeah.
the transitions in order
Yeah.
to produce those crossfades.
Excellent. And thank you. And just this just emerged today because I have not been able to rehearse with anyone. So starting with D as the nature spirit is a good way for then the visiting botanist to arrive. We add some maybe foreground, and of course I would have to ask you, okay, if we have the pole or the tree trunk in the foreground, would the image not become too thick? Is there not too much in it?
Well, I think you have to try it and see.
Try it, yeah. Because we have the pole and we have the tree trunk.
I mean, we can
And
try it now. I have it ready. I have it ready that I can put the pole
we
in front
could
of
spend the
anyone.
last half hour looking at that, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And then I know already now what I can do for the next couple of weeks in terms of later scenes with Hadrian's Wall, and then when we move to China, when we change the color, and I can give you the transitions and prepare that. We then work on the choreography with the preparation. That's I'm beginning to see how this has to work. Very
Yeah.
helpful.
Well, you're diving into a whole new world here, so it's
I know it's
understandable that it.
and I feel shy asking, how can I ask Dee for music if I don't even know what we're doing? Yeah. So Dee, you have to improvise with us, yeah? And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, and maybe have some things ready for when we move to Hadrian's Wall, where it's going to be about stone, yeah, and marching. And then we move to uh, Jew. You're going to end up in North China, yeah, in the brown hayfield. So
Let me make one comment about the music. So, Dee, what I would recommend that you do is record some of the some of the sounds that you're doing, and give me the sound files so that because I think what would be interesting, and it would be good if I have them loaded up in case we run into any problems. But the other thing is that it might be interesting to layer some of the live things that you're doing with some pre-recorded.
Yeah, that's the general idea. Once I've got a grip on the flow of things, I'm going to start adding like a little touch of synth. My phone has died, so I don't know how because I had it plugged in, but I'm just trying to get it live again. But yeah, that's the idea. Is that once I've got more of a stable idea, I'm going to start um like sort of sending over a few pre-recorded like looping ideas and stuff that we can then play with in terms of where they fit into the composition, and also some light sample work. I know we don't want like obvious birds chirping, but I want to try and distort that into something that sounds unique and interesting while still evoking the same element. Playing on some stuff that I've done a few years back. But yeah.
Great. So Johannes, what I would suggest is that we take a few minutes, even
Mm.
without the performers, and we build up some of the transparencies. We put some of the transparencies on top of some of the backgrounds, so you can see what it looks like. And I
Yeah.
can show you some. There's one thing that works really well, and then there are other things that need to be thought through in terms of how to layer. So let's do that, because I think that
Yeah.
would be a really interesting exercise. So
Yeah, for the last stretch, definitely. We have pole and tree trunk. And then I had a question, Greg, and I know this is perhaps outside of Drew's comfort zone, but if Drew were to speak, let's say one line in Chinese, how would we hear that? Would his voice just come through?
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I wanted him to say, I can help in Chinese. I can help. He's coming to the river goddess to offer his help. So, Ju, if you say, I can help, you need to practice so that we can hear the Chinese really well. And maybe we'll use subtitles for the English speaking audience.
So with
I
that,
have in
Johannes,
Chinese.
take a look at this. Actually, Shu, could you put, yeah, there you go. As you can see,
Yeah.
that plant in the foreground blends nicely with the background. It's really hard to tell what's in the background and what's in the foreground. So, Shu, if you move to your right, but I'm not sure. Yeah, there.
That's a good
Look.
transparency because we see the river now for the first time.
Yeah, but you see how he's behind that plant.
No?
Yes, he
Is
was.
this a
Yeah,
foreground
yeah.
image?
Shu, move to your right a little bit. There. See if you can lift up. Move a little bit to your right. I think it's. Oh, no, the other way. Your left.
Okay.
There. Stay right there.
Oh, now I can see he's behind.
Yes.
Oh.
See, that's the kind of thing that you can do with the layers.
You can touch the flower and say, I can help.
So thinking about that, sorry, my camera is now back.
Here,
I
you
had to.
can help. In Chinese, I can help.
我可以帮你。
Aha. Okay. And you have to maybe say it 2-3 times. I can help. I can help. I really can help. Yeah.
That's nice.
我可以帮你。我可以帮你。我真的可以帮你。
Good. Very good. Very good. Yes. You know, you have to learn to be an actor, Jude. This is your task. Yeah. To use language. Very good. And D, you can sample that perhaps and then play around in English to reply to him.
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
agreed. Yeah, I might ask Ji if he can send me across an audio file of you sort of talking through those and sort of the most dead room that you've got, so it's not as echoey, and then I can take that and start playing with it a bit.
So now, Ju, you're going to have a plant and a pole coming. So you have to try to decipher what's written on the pole. TS177. It's a geographical marker. So you have to wrap yourself around the pole if that's possible. No, the pole is in the foreground. So this doesn't work. The pole has to go to the midground.
Okay,
No?
so all I have to do then is use the
So that you can turn around and make a note of those numbers.
Wait a second. There's that one. Oh, no.
So once the
happened
pole
to
Yeah.
his others. Oh, it's yeah. I think that pole is not transparent. So
Okay.
anyway, but I think that's Yeah, he can either be, behind it or in front of it, but not both. Although
So,
we managed
gee,
to figure out a way
I know you're
to
looking at the monitor, but can you look towards your left? Sorry, towards your right. Sorry, towards the right, slowly, and lift your left arm up to try to read the numbers on the pole. Yeah. Well, yeah, getting there.
if I
That's
can.
a tough one. Hmm.
Maybe try it again with just the the pole that's not in front.
Okay.
Okay. Aha. Yeah, this is interesting. Very good. And uh, for next time, we think of
I really do
if
think.
I'm a botanist, I have my notebook with me. I would write down the number from this marker into my notebook, or just think of something that you might do. Um, uh, Ju, why don't you say the number 177 in Chinese? 177.
177，
Yeah, something like that. You're reading the poll, and we hear you reading it, the numbers. Very good. So it's 177. 177. Good. Um,
So,
and now
Johannes,
you get an
Johannes,
idea of where the river might be, yeah, in terms of GPS, yeah. The pole is your GPS, yeah. So you are going to soon find the river. Yeah.
see, Johannes, this is very nice because he can be in between the plant and the pole.
Yes. Yes.
What's the background image here? What's the number on it?
It's it's called River Plant Pole 2, and it's a still image. And it's in index number 2.
Gotcha. Index number 2.
Yeah, the numbers are off. I mean, I should have put them at the top of the cell instead of the bottom. But you see in the third column, it says River Plant Pole in the foreground under motion. But that's because we need a Greg. Well, we'll talk about it later.
Okay. Oh, I see. Right, right.
What's that sound?
Johannes, do you have this particular shot on a video?
You mean the pole with the river?
Yeah.
I might.
Because I asked because I wonder if you're going to want to have still images in some scenes as backgrounds and video in other scenes.
Well, the river is coming in our next soon to be seen scene, so maybe still image is fine here. And I was just
Okay.
saying to Ju, and I was on mute, I think dancing does not work here, but you need to do scientific actions, yeah, observing, looking at the pole, reading the numbers, making a note, speaking to the plant. So in a way, you are acting in the environment. The environment at the moment is still, but then very quickly you will be inside the river.
Yes.
And I think we can think about actions. Like I was thinking, when you are making a note, how do you do that as a scientist? I mean, it would be in a notebook, yeah? Or we haven't even introduced the oculus yet. The oculus maybe comes later. Because if you are trying to decipher the nature, you might at one point pull the oculus out of your backpack and put it on.
Yeah.
And I think we had a scene last week called Aquarium. This is when we do the aquarium scene. So you have a notebook, a Gao Chow, and an oculus in your backpack. And in this opening scene, you are a scientist. Apart when you do the beautiful expressive movement with the Gao Chow. Later, when we do the brush scene, you will be dancing, yeah? But right now, you are more of a scientist.
Yeah.
Johannes?
Yeah.
I just had an idea.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what the plan is for the Oculus scene, but we could do a.
He had it
Um,
on. Drew had it on when we had the aquarium improvisation last week.
Yeah. No. I remember that one. I'm just thinking maybe that could be the way in which he's able to see and interact with me via
Oh.
the Oculus. That it allows him to perceive what isn't physically there in terms of.
He
Like-
cannot see you unless he wears this foreign device, the Oculus, which he brought with him from his planet. Very good. From China, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
And yeah,
Okay.
so like
How
yeah,
do
so
we
it
then
starts off
how
with-
if we see him wearing the Oculus, how do we see you in the Oculus? Highly distorted, pixelated figure. Or maybe
Yeah.
a ghostly D, yeah?
Yeah, a ghostly I think a ghostly version of myself.
Well, we
Like-
will make a note for this, Oculus and ghostly D, because you know when Ju and I were rehearsing with the Oculus, when Ju is not inside the Guardian frame, the Oculus stops working, but the cameras are still working, and you can see a black and white pixelated ghostly space. And in that space you appear, yeah?
Yeah, and maybe I introduce him to flowers and fauna.
Oh, yes.
So I'm like passing them to him
Yes.
in a way.
And Randall, are you with us?
I'm right here.
Could you please bring number 6, Blossom film?
Okay,
So D,
I had to do some cropping on this one, as you'll see.
I have a small film with a very
No,
beautiful
that's not
flower,
number
D.
Number 7.
And you could be the flower, and inside the flower is actually a bumblebee. Michelle filmed this.
Oh. Sorry.
So you could also become the bumblebee, and we are watching this through the Oculus.
Hmm.
Let's see what happens. It's called Blossom film.
Yeah, I'm trying to bring it up. I'm having
Yeah,
some kind
no
of
problem.
problem here.
This is very exciting. I'm feeling much more positive today because I was beginning to worry that I don't understand this compositing. As I told Greg, I don't understand the foreground,
Okay.
background.
Now you do.
There we go.
Ah, now I do better. So here's D. That's you.
So Johannes, let me just first say that I had to crop this in
Yeah.
order to make it fit in the video window, but I like it big like that.
Ooh. Ooh.
Same.
So we need to, in a way, make it possibly a transition from G with Oculus, and then maybe D as a transparency becoming the blossom. Randall, maybe make a mental note of this is a triple scene. G puts on Oculus, then we see what the Oculus shows, namely D ghosted into the blossom. Something like
So
that.
is he seeing the Oculus in? I mean, is he seeing the blossom in the Oculus?
Yeah. Now, how that will look in the Oculus, I don't know, but maybe you can do layering, yeah?
Well, I love the idea that we're kind of zoomed out, at the in the landscape and so on,
Yeah,
and he's looking at a flower. He puts on the
yeah.
Oculus, and then it's like
Close
this
up.
is what he
Microscope.
sees.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. He puts on the Oculus. We as an audience, we follow that something now in terms of point of view might change because looking at someone with an Oculus is not interesting. Point of view changes, and Ju sees D, who becomes a blossom.
So I
Can you
just
fade me in? I'm actually in the colors.
I just boosted the saturation.
Yes, I
And
I
noticed.
like I
It's
like that effect.
contrast. I think that because then if he's going to be looking at this in the Oculus, it should be sort of a little bit digital looking.
yes, it should be a slightly surreal.
Yeah, exactly.
And D, we don't know whether you are both the blossom and the bumblebee. I don't know the sound of a bumblebee, but this could be
Wait.
very good. Who was that? Greg?
That me. Wait, I'll do
You?
even
Okay, yeah.
better.
Very good. Very good. Yeah, and you know they are a nearly extinct species. There are very few bumblebees left.
Really?
So Ju, you have to say "I can help" in Chinese. I can help.
我能帮你。
Yeah, yeah. And we need to hear
Do
it
you want to
very
try
clear.
putting me? Do you want to try putting me in, Randall?
Oh, of course.
That's okay. No worries.
This
Oh
is cool.
wow, something's changed.
Something's
Michelle will be very happy. That's
the
her
wrong
film.
view. There we go.
Cool.
You look like a little
That's-
bumblebee.
Frozen.
Love
It's
it.
frozen as well.
Love it.
Oh, okay.
No.
What's happened to my camera? Why?
What's happening with your camera? I was just about to do something that was going to be spectacular.
Why? It turns itself off.
Your camera back up. Aha. Ooh. You mean you were going to blend D into the blossom? Ooh.
I was going to make her into
My
a
back.
bumblebee.
I'm back. I'm back. Oh,
Okay. And
I'm
Ju, can you get your
No,
Oculus,
you're
please?
not. There we go. Okay. So don't go away.
Yeah. Oh. Oh. Ah, yeah. Into the like a little the seed that the bumblebee is. Yeah, yeah. There we go. Oh,
Something
yeah.
like that.
Maybe we slow down the video here.
Yeah. And I think that D, you need to be kind of moving around like a bee.
So like, I'm just trying to orientate myself. So here.
Yeah, like quick little motions. Yeah. There you go.
Slow motion whirling dervish. Excellent.
That's nice.
Excellent.
Yeah, don't use your hand to push you off the floor. Just use them floating in the. Try to be. Put your strength on your seat bone, and then move with your arms as if you're floating in, like in a cosmonaut. You are the bumblebee cosmonaut. Yes. And do you lower your head a bit because the plant is on the floor, not in the sky? Lower your head, Drew,
Good
and
up.
reach out with your hand, Drew, to touch the blossom, and lower the hand, yeah, and you say, I can help.
我可以帮你。
Good. Very good. Yeah. Super.
我可以帮你。需要帮助吗？
Does anyone have an idea whether we want Drew to move or to be quiet? I guess he's Drew, rise up a bit and look down towards the floor as you stand. Yeah,
Yeah, and like you're trying to touch the flower
yeah.
that you see in the oculus.
Whoops, now you're too tall. Yeah, bend forward a bit,
I can make him
Yeah.
a little smaller.
slightly smaller. No, that was too much. So, yep. And looking down towards your feet.
That's very
Yeah,
good.
and then bring your hands forward as if you are raising a cup from the floor. Both hands go into a plie as if you're as if you're reaching down and grasping a flower from the floor and slowly helping it up. Yes. Yeah, that's a good composition. I think that's something to work on. Maybe do a little bit of a crouch, just low plie. Yes, very good. Yep. I guess you did that before. Yeah, good. Yep.
Suggestion: if Jew, I'm sorry, became very close to the camera, so that we are almost just seeing the side of his face and the oculus looking
Okay.
back at the poppy.
Good idea.
Even closer, Drew.
Yeah.
Very, very close to the camera.
Yeah, we also need to understand that what he's wearing on his head is an oculus. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good idea, Greg. And
I
let
just
me
wanted you to see this kind of use of space and position,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you know,
Drew, remember that. Really, Drew, that's very good. Remember that you did that. Coming very close to the camera, looking laterally at the plant, at the blossom.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Very
Johannes,
good.
I would suggest that you go through the video, quickly and just take some screenshots and so you have a storyboard.
I have been taking screenshots all along.
No, but I mean,
So,
do it from the video,
oh, okay.
so you get a better image.
Yeah.
That's nice.
yeah, it positions all of us in relation, right?
Yeah.
We're
Yeah.
right behind Chew. Chew's looking out at the poppy with D
Yeah.
in it.
Yes. Perfect. There's a sliver in the middle, Randall. What is that?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure it out.
Okay, but Greg, you're absolutely right. We need the oculus in the foreground with Jew. So
Oh.
it's the looking Jew. It's not the hands. Don't worry about the hands. It's the looking. Yes, perfect.
Although he could reach up and put his finger into the frame as well.
You're pointing with your finger, Jew. Yes, Yes,
or
that's it.
Right. Where is
or
that to me?
potentially even putting his hand even closer to the camera as if it's wrapping around the flower.
Use your left hand, Ju. Correct. Very good. You are trying to caress the blossom. You're
Yeah.
not trying to destroy it. You're actually trying to make it very precious, a very precious
Yeah.
vegetation.
So there are ways to set this up so that
Yeah.
you know the
You have to keep.
elements,
Sorry. Go ahead.
visual elements, align in a way that you think is creative and expressive, Johannes.
And I'm not sure that Drew can see anything, but I have made screenshots so I can send him the sequence with the hand. That's very, very good. Both of you, all of you, very, very good. D, very beautiful D. You are inside that little blossom. Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. Remember that body posture, kind of making yourself small and intimate. And after, some more gesticulating movement, you are now tired and you're kind of curling inside, and let the bumblebee do the job around you. Yeah, that's perfect. Wonderful.
Johannes, I want to try something real quick because I'm curious if this might work better if the flower is is still rather than
Well, then we won't see the bumblebee movement. But you can try. Obviously, we can try anything, or we slow down the movie because it's just a quick
yeah.
MV4.
I just feel that it's a little disorienting that the flower's moving but she is not. But so let me
I
try
kind of
it.
like it though because the blossom is in the wind. Dew is still. I kind of like it,
Yeah.
but we can look at the options. In fact, it creates a very strange. For me, it's more dramatic when the blossom moves in the wind. Although I can see what you're suggesting. I think it's better if the
This
blossom moves.
is there a way for us to automate like the movement of someone within the green screen space? So similar to how you might have, like, so we can essentially simulate me moving
Oh,
in time with the flower.
oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, I could even put like a little random thing on that. I can't get it. I can't get you synced with the flower, but I could do something like this.
Hmm.
Oh, that's too mechanical. I'm not sure that I like it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It becomes
Well, that's
gimmicky.
what I'm wondering. If we have an automate tool, if we have an automation tool, I'm speaking in music terms because I'm not sure what the thing would be here. We could try and have it so it scales essentially movement, which would make it more smooth. But I don't know how it would look still because I don't know how smooth we'd be able to actually get it. Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, all I could do is put like a little randomness on here, so that everything's moving, including you.
Hmm.
Drew,
Yeah.
if you want to take your Oculus off, have a look at the image right now. I want to tell you something. Can you see the image?
I can see. Yeah.
Okay, Drew, here's an idea. Just came to me. When you see the Blossom film with D, in the background of the Blossom film is a solar screen, as we have them in the garden. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Maybe as a prop, when you emerge from the scene, you have that little solar screen. I can get you one. Little solar screen in your hand. You found something that actually is related to the vegetation, and that is a solar lamp. Yeah, maybe we'll think about that, something like that, because it might be nice to have objects reoccur that are in the film, but you also have it now in your hand. You found it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is a little garden device. It costs £5. We get it in the garden center.
Johannes, I think might be a nice compromise between the still image and the moving image is just to slow the blossom down.
Slightly, yes. Although I really kind of like the way it flutters in the wind, I have to
Yeah.
say.
Okay.
personally, I like it, and because we have already some more quiet scenes, so this is because it's an extreme close-up. I think I love it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But all of
So-
you, really, this is going to be a very erotic scene. You know, it's like a Georgia O'Keeffe scene. Yeah,
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
one other thing, just to point out to you here, Johannes and Ju, is one way to think of what we're seeing here is the field of view. One way in which Ju could enter this
yeah.
is from off screen, and we just see his face slowly arrive into the frame of view
With the
Yeah.
Oculus,
with Oculus.
Yeah.
and
So
and
Very
in a
nice.
sense, he's off stage and he makes his entrance very close. So there are ways of using this frame as if it's a stage with wings.
so excellent. And then the
As
blossom appears later
yeah,
when we have seen him come into the frame.
yeah, however you want to organize and
Yeah,
orchestrate,
yeah.
but the sides and also the top and the bottom are ways for the performer to exit the stage. So
Okay,
back in the field where D was laying in the grass, D could roll towards the camera and exit below the camera.
okay,
Or he
okay,
could roll or move into the field of view
She-
from under the camera.
And
okay.
then
You,
reappear.
you see my point?
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah, I think the way to do
She-
this to create the
Yeah.
illusion is that Shu is without the Oculus. He's in the other scene. He exits, and then it transitions to the flower, and then he reappears with the
Oh,
Oculus
okay.
on, so
To
that
see
we
it. Okay, yes.
that we
Okay,
because we've shifted to his Oculus perspective.
okay, okay. I get it. Okay. Wow. This is now we need to slowly end because there's too much to think about. But we have a good material. Wow.
Okay, all right. So
so
let's.
so part of what Randall and I were helping you to envision, Johannes, is with this technology, is these are cinematic relationships
Mm,
between the visual content, the
mm.
performer, how they enter, how we are related to the image, how is the image potentially representative of our thoughts or
Yeah.
even our feelings so it doesn't have to be a literal realism or 3D or anything. All these opportunities open up for you.
Okay. God, I just hope we can make it. I mean, when
Johannes
I
is
watched
like
the black and
swimming
white,
in
everything was
opportunity.
seamless. Seemed to be completely clear. So we need to have this sequence really down and make
We
sure
will.
that my our performers remember when they exit and when they come on. Yeah. So perhaps we cannot make too many scenes, but we still have the river and then Hadrian's Wall and North China. But I think we should be able. February. Wow.
Yeah, we
Well.
will. We put together a whole cue list in like the last week of the
Okay.
last project.
I
So
mean,
don't
the
worry
week
about it.
the week before the premiere in early March, we need to run a dress rehearsal, right?
Yes, that's right.
So we really only have 2 more sessions to experiment, finding, and then we have to put it together.
That's right.
And everyone, D, you and G will have to remember. Well, I'll make a cue sheet too, and you will know. Okay, I'm coming on here, 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 and you will know what you're doing. I'm sure. And you are responsible for the dramaturgy of the music, yeah. So
Mhm.
you won't be in every scene, but you will be directing our sound tapestry, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh my God, wonderful! And
Good
I
work.
hope that Michelle will be pleased that we are using also. She had another idea. Drew, when we move to the north, she's very passionate about the fact that she's from the north. She accused me of confusing the Thames and Hadrian's Wall. But I didn't actually confuse it. I know the Hadrian's Wall is in the north. So, Shu, when you go up from Stone River to Stone Wall, I remember Michelle was doing some filming last year during the pandemic where she just filmed her feet walking. So maybe we're going to recreate that idea of the camera or you. We see your feet. Sorry, you can't see. I don't have a light. We see your feet moving, yeah? And while we do the photographs of the Hadrian's Wall, and then you're walking past the wall, and then suddenly you are in China, yeah? That's what I'm envisioning for this development. It
So
doesn't.
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's it.
I was just going to say that, Johannes, for next week,
Yeah,
either you do another one of these media lists,
yeah, I will.
or if you want, you could make it a scenic list, because at some point we have to move from media list to scenic list,
What is
and
scenic? You mean scene?
yeah, the order of the scenes instead of
Okay.
just
Yeah.
a list of media to experiment
Well,
with.
I have time this week because I'm not teaching. So by Wednesday, you have a scene list and maybe a couple of more film ideas for the river scene. But I think right now I'm happy with the floating river and the stone, the GoPro scene. I had imagined, I'm not sure whether that's actually possible, a scene where Drew meets me in a pre-filmed where I'm
Ah,
rowing. I'm the Charon, the one who brings the souls to the other side. I'm walking in the river, and Drew meets me. I'm not sure that that's possible. Him walking towards me, coming towards him. But we can try it.
wait, I
Um,
thought where is
you
it?
don't have that film. That's in a later. Not that one. That was meant to be me, Jesus walking on water. It's
Oh,
it's. Well, it's
Great.
I think it's in a different folder where I'm
okay,
having the branch. Yeah,
okay.
this was a little scene where I'm pretending to be Jesus. Forget
Um,
it. Doesn't look right.
no.
But
So,
well, yeah,
Johannes, the other thing I was thinking is that and Greg, if the two of you could check in on Wednesday and go through the whatever you have produced by then, the scenic list or the media list or both, it would be great if Greg could look it over and see, kind of get answer any questions you might have, make sure that it's that everything kind of makes sense before you hand it off. Is that possible? What do you think?
well, I'll work on the scenic list and maybe a couple of other new images for next week, and then I'll send that to Greg. Yeah, we will. Sure.
One quick trick is, let's say I have a video and I fill. Sorry, I'm trying to get my hands aligned here. I fill the whole frame with that video image, but then I have something in front of it. I can take a picture of that video, and then I can go in and I can leave, in this case, the can of water in the foreground, but then erase all of this. So then I've put a JPEG, still JPEG image in front of a video playing in the background.
Okay.
So that makes it look like this can of
Yeah.
water is in the foreground, but I got the image right out of the video. So I
Okay.
took a still image from the video, in your case, the GPS marker. We take the whole video, take a picture of it, take the JPEG, edit it, make the outside of it all transparent, put the GPS pole back in the front, and the video's playing behind.
Okay.
You see?
Mm.
And you can actually do that multiple times.
Okay.
Right.
If
And
you
then
have, you could have a bush over here and a bush over there, and you could have Chu walk between one of them and D walk between the other two things. You see what I mean? It's you can create these layers.
Right. And
Okay.
then the other thing is that the tree trunk. I
Oh,
don't
the tree
know
trunk.
what you
Yes,
had in mind for that. It's really kind of hard to work with it.
it is.
Um, I mean, it could
Well, that's
go.
that's an image from Jew. So I wanted him to see that his photography might be an interesting link because that tree trunk had fallen into the river. So the way he ends up in the river could be by going down the tree trunk.
Oh, in the river.
So what we would want to start with is that original image. Take part of that original image or video, if it's a video, and put that to the background. But then find the still image where the tree trunk's already there and put that in front. You see, you create two layers with the original and then excerpt the tree trunk in the front of it.
The tree trunk is Jew's photography, so it's not a film, it was a still image. Unless Jew, do you still have a film footage of the tree trunk? Was it a movie or was it a still? We don't know. But even this image right now, I find actually quite interesting. Let me take a screen. Wow. Because it looks like Jew is carrying the tree. Wow. Okay. I hear you, Greg. I need to think about that. Okay.
Yeah. And then there's what you're doing here and what you're seeing here. It doesn't have to be realistic. It can
No.
just be a collage that you find expressive and poetic or
And this is very nice, Jew, because you are almost in the foreground of the frame, beautifully, the head just below the top. Very good. That's a very good. I'll make another screenshot. That's
And Johannes, don't forget about the middle ground, because then you can situate like the tree trunk could be behind Shu, but in front of D.
Could you make the tree trunk float away?
Well, I mean, I could.
Sorry. Because this is actually what happened in the flood last year in Germany.
yeah.
The trees were swimming down the river. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is amazing. Thank you so much. We reached the end of our set. This is really amazing. I hope Dee and Ju you enjoyed this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Good.
really good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
this
I
was really
enjoyed
good
it.
work.
I
Excellent,
enjoyed
excellent.
it.
So again, think about the layers. I think hopefully that's becoming a little clear how that works and what
Yeah.
doesn't work and how
Yeah.
to make it interesting.
Yeah.
So it's all about the layers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this whole medium is about. I mean, obviously there are other things, but the layers in terms of the stage design
Yeah.
is everything.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
can I say one more thing? And my team doesn't know this yet, although I might have made a note in my notes to them. Because I had such a deep experience of the flood last year, a number of villages upriver were destroyed. I have a collage of 7 or 8 slides that I could make into a slide sequence where you see the effect of the river in destruction. So maybe like you had the end of Black and White with this political imagery, maybe when we move from river to Hadrian's Wall, we see underneath maybe very distant some images of destruction. Do you
Could
think
be
that might work?
could be beautiful.
Yeah.
Could be very
So that,
powerful.
so that the audience realizes we are actually looking at the climate and its power, yeah? And that it can not just have a trunk in the river, but cars floating, yeah?
Mm.
Bridges collapsed, yeah? Villages gone, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'll try to do that also in the next week or so that you can get an idea. Okay, thank you very much.
Johannes, one last thing.
One.
Is it possible that you and I could get together sometime this week and talk about how we're going to publicize the event?
Oh, Thank you. I by the way, I copied the promotional text from Black and White, and I thought I'm going to have
Ah.
to write something similar. Do you want still images of D and Chu?
Yeah, I mean,
Promotion?
take a look at the web page
Yeah,
for the
and
black
then I
ones.
saw this in your calendar today that you want some promotional text. I can have that ready. Also, meet with you next week. No problem.
Yeah, yeah, let's do that because what would be great is if you could go through that web page and
Yeah.
just and we'll just use that as a template so that you
Yes.
have
Yeah.
pictures of the artists, you have their bios, you
I
have a
need a
description of the
small
work.
bio from D and True, and maybe the photograph of you that you like most.
Yep.
Send me
Sounds
a
good.
JPEG,
Yeah,
and then
and
I'll do a promotional text about the River of No One.
right,
Very sorry.
right, the River of No One, and that is officially the name of the piece,
I
right?
I, I think so. Yeah.
Okay, all right, terrific. Okay, so do you want to set up a
Quick.
time right now? How about either Monday or Tuesday?
Tuesday is fine. 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock on Tuesday, your time,
Okay.
15th.
No, your time. Sorry. If we're doing 4 o'clock like today, it would be 5 o'clock my time in Germany.
Oh, you're an hour later. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So four
So
o'clock your time is 10 a.m. my time.
okay.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
6 hours ahead right now?
Yeah, Johannes is 6 hours ahead.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh,
we're
because
all
he's in
we're in,
Germany.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're in three different
Okay.
time zones now. So okay,
D, you have your hand up.
Yeah. One question, Johannes. If possible, do you think by Tuesday you'd be able to send me a list similar to how we've done for other projects, where it goes through each, even if they're not scenes at the moment, but each
Yes.
element that you're going to be testing, and then I can get all the music ready before
Yeah. I
before
will
we hit Thursday.
definitely try and give you a rough sequencing of the themes of each part. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I can start, and then I can make sure I've
Yeah.
got all my composing things, and I'll just match them to that when I send them to Randall.
Sounds good. And
Okay.
you said Tuesday, then 10 o'clock your time, 5 o'clock my time.
exactly. No, that's 4 o'clock your time. Would you rather have it be 5 o'clock your time?
No, 4 o'clock is fine. What time
Yeah,
is this
that's
for you?
10. 6 hour time difference.
Okay, 4 o'clock Tuesday it is.
Okay, wonderful. All right, everybody. Thank you. Great rehearsal and
Incredible work.
yeah, really
Thank
great
you very
work.
much, everyone.
Look
Yeah.
forward to next
Thank
week.
you. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome.
Thank-
Cheers. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Randall.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.